you how we can start using MLflow. I created a repo. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can see it because it's in the organization. Where I put there a very tiny example. The idea is to provide you a way of start using MLflows. So you can see it's very simple, very straightforward. You just have to, if you have, for example, a virtual environment, you just start a virtual environment and install the MLflow package, and you're good to go. Here in this repo, I put like a very dumb example of how an experimentation setup, like mess experimentation setup, looks like. We have many text files. We don't like what the result, the pickle files, the metrics, cross-validation metrics. We have plots. Well, what we had before here, like mixed in a folder, now we can have it within MLflow. So yeah, basically you just have to activate the environment. I think mine is activated. And you can start the MLflow UI with this command. This starts like a server locally. Of course, it can be installed in Docker or any cloud service. But yeah, this allows us to localhost to access to the MLflow screen. Here I don't have any experiments logged yet, but I will run some experiments. I'll show you a little example with this with a very like toy data set. This is this data set is called wine quality. The idea is just to classify different brands of wine using some features, and the idea is to like predict a quality for each of those, let's say. So, for example, we have quality from 3 to 8, and we want to classify the wines based on this quality. This is a very true example I'll be using to show you how to use MLflow. So for this particular example, I want to load this data set I just mentioned and showed you. Somehow split the data and train different models and different model configurations, so we can then compare them. Just look. You just have to pay attention to the lines that start with MLflow dot, because those are the only ones where MLflow takes place here. The rest are basically scikit-learn models or tools we have to train the models. But yeah, this is basically how we can run this experiment. We split the data. We train a linear regression model, then we train a random forest regressor, then we train the same model with a different configuration, and this I do this using these scikit-learn classes that are available. So in this training function, I'll be defining how the training loop goes, but first, here we set the experiment name, and under the experiment name, let's go back to the MLflow page. We'll see experiments at the left part of the page. For example, here we want to solve the wine classification problem. Then the experiment name will be this wine classification. And then what I called before as experiment, MLflow calls them runs. So from the wine classification experiment, we will have many runs, which are for us the experiments, the different configuration, the different model variants, the different hyperparameters will be runs that will show up here. So I first set the experiment name, then I train all the models, and each of these will create a different run. Now let's go to the training function that is up here. So in order to create a run, we have to create this context. So everything that will be here will be inside this run will be logged as a row here. And MLflow will allow us to track many things, from the model parameters, from metrics, from any blob or anything we want to track about that model of the data or the git commit or anything you need to track somehow. So for example, we first declare the model type. Inside this run, we declare what's the model type, what's the commit hash, for example, if we want to track to a particular git commit. Then, since all the models are scikit-learn models and share the same interface, we know we can use the fit method to fit the model, to train the model, and fit the model weights. Once the model is fit, we can log the parameters to MLflow. This basically gives us the parameters we choose here, the number of estimators, the max depth, any seeds we use, that of course are part of the scikit-learn model in this case. Of course, it also works with our own classes, but we will have to define these methods. But yeah, basically we can log anything to MLflow. We make predictions during training. We compute metrics. We log those metrics as well. In this case, with a different method, log metric. And also, you will notice that we can have as many experiments as we need. We can have as many runs. For example, I tried with this set of parameters, and then I tried with a different set. And maybe the performance of one of those is not good, so I don't want to actually use it in production, maybe, or for anything. But so we will have the run, but we may not want to register or publish that model. So in the cases we want to register the model as the production or final model or model we are considering to use, we can just log the model with a certain name, and otherwise we can just log it as any other model, or just don't log it if the performance is not good. We can just avoid logging it. But the idea, if it's not very heavy, we can log everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it for training models and how to use MLflow. This will be saving everything we need for regarding the model, the metrics, the parameters. I included also here an MLP, so you can see how the training curves evolve over time, and how can we log that. But it's pretty much the same as the other examples.